guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now, in light of the recent local government elections here in Jamaica, and after seeing the results and the pushing and shoving to find out who actually had won each seat, I think it is only fair that I share my piece about not only the election itself, but the aftermath of the election, and why I think that in light of the current findings and the current situation, why I think we are heading for a very dismal place. Not only that, I'm beginning to think right now that democracy has failed Jamaica, or the people has failed democracy. And while I don't think that that democracy in and of itself is a bad thing, because I think that as a social concept, it has a sound philosophy. However, in practice, I think it is failing. And this is one of the reasons why I feel that democracy, some people do not deserve democracy. And Jamaican people is one of those sets. And for those who want to know, yes, I have my political leanings, yes. And in the past, I have supported both parties. I have voted for both the PNP and the JLP because I am a die-hard Jamaican. Because in my opinion, a vote is a very powerful thing, most of us don't realize because we take voting for granted. But I can tell you that one vote that you give is extremely powerful because it can either strengthen or weaken your country. It can turn your country into a failure, or it can turn your country into a success. One vote. And for those of you who don't realize how important one vote is, because a lot of people don't realize. Remember that back in the 60s, Hugh Shearer, Jamaica's Prime Minister, had won his seat in Clarendon by one vote. One dege vote. And in the previous local government election before this one, after going to a magisterial recount after about 2 or 3 weeks of deliberation, Rosalie Hamilton of the Raytown Division won her seat in the KSAC by 2 votes. Now, just think for a moment if in Clarendon, if that extra person did not come out and vote, our history would have been so different. So whose vote is that one vote? Whose vote is it? The one vote that caused Hugh Shearer to be minister was every single one on top of each other. Because if one person was missing from that lot, the situation would have been different. So every single vote adds up. And people don't realize, people say it's just one vote. That one vote can make a difference and change the whole trajectory of an entire nation. But before I go on, there is something I need to say. And this is an absolute fact. Look on your screen. And if you can screenshot this and keep it, do so. And here are the facts. Transparency International, which is the world watchdog for politics across the world, it has said that 1% of the world's population control the entire world. Well, that is true, but that's not true. But I'll get into that further. 4% are sellout, which I think that's just about correct. You said 90% are asleep, and 5% know the truth and hope to wake up the 90%. And the 1% who control the world do not want the 5% of people who know the truth to wake up the 90% who don't. Now, let us begin with this 1%. I'm going to refer back to them on and off, but for the most part, I don't want to say who this 1% is. So let's move to the 4%. And the 4% are the sellouts. Now, who are these sellouts? They are world leaders. All the presidents, virtually all the presidents and prime ministers in this world are sellouts. All of them have been paid by the 1% to hoodwink and keep the 90% or the 95% in their place, because they keep both the 90% who are asleep and the 5% who are aware, and they keep all of those 95% in their place on behalf of the 1%. And these people started selling out. These 4% have been selling out for several hundred years. They take money, a lot of money, from the 1% and have always used it to keep the 95% in check. I could go on and make a list of the hundreds of current world leaders and of the ones in the past, going back for the past 200 years, who have sold out, but I'm going to just use two right now. A lot of people won't like when I call this man's name on something like this, but it's a fact. It's a fact, and these facts can be checked. One of the greatest sellouts for black people was Barack Obama. Barack Obama did virtually nothing for blacks. In fact, the worst black unemployment was under Obama and was 16.8% in March of 2011. And this has never been reached in 28 years. So call that one entire generation. Him called black unemployment for drop. And it's not me say so. It's the United States Department of Labor, which is run by white people. So it's not me make up this. And it is a fact that the first black president never pursued policies bold enough to close the racial gap between blacks and white and Hispanics in the United States. The first black president of the United States went to Africa and with Hillary Clinton and kicked out an African leader who was the best person who was going to try to unite black people, which was of course Muammar Gaddafi, who I might add is among the 5% of people who are aware. Now guys, yes, this is world politics, this is geopolitics, this is politics on a level that most people cannot think on or understand. Now, the second name I want to call in terms of sellouts, because as I said, I could go into hundreds, but I think if I just use two examples, it would set the tone for exactly what I want to say. Now, I said Barack Obama. The next name I want to call is Andrew Michael Holness, the Jamaican Prime Minister. And here is how he sold out. There is a war going on in Gaza. Not really a war, a massacre, where an entire race of people is being massacred by Israel in the Gaza Strip. Now, the world chose to vote at the United Nations to designate the massacre going on down there as an act of genocide. And what did Andrew Holness do? He failed to put in a vote. In other words, he abstained, went to the United Nations and abstained on a matter which was so critical, where thousands upon thousands of innocent people are being massacred. What do you call that? Sell out. The 1% reach him and money talk. So, in other words, I was talking earlier about the importance of a vote and how votes are critical. Abstaining from a vote is a vote, because that means you have voted against the moot. Once you do not vote, you have actually voted. You have voted against the moot. What do you call that? Sell out. Come, there's not another word for it. But let's continue. 90% of people are asleep. And this group of people are the people that are causing democracy not to work. Or perhaps I should say, not to work the way democracy had been conceptualized to work. I had mentioned earlier about die-hearted people, or the word is really die-hard, but in Jamaica they say die-hearted. I personally do not think that die-hearted people, as they call it, should have a vote. Because, as I had said before, putting that important power, like a vote, into a hand of a die-hard person is like putting a loaded gun in the hands of a toddler. They will vote to kill their own effing self and don't even care. I have seen instances in Jamaica, for example, where people have voted against their own personal self-interest because they do not even know what their own personal self-interests are. As a matter of fact, they know what their personal interests are, and their interest is putting on my pot pan Sunday. And if me can put on my pot pan Sunday, anybody who can make me put on my pot pan Sunday, or anybody who can buy cook curry goat, or anybody who can come and come give me 50,000 for my funeral, them I go get my vote. Such people do not vote on issues. They only vote on the issues that are inside of their yard. They vote on the issues that just inside their house or inside their kitchen. These people never look on the wider issues of what's going on in the country. Don't tell them about the word GDP or about any kind of statistics that's coming out of any ministry or any world report or anything. These people vote, this person wear a green shirt, so I'll vote for this person. This person wear an orange shirt, and I'll vote for this person. And what are some people don't, it's just about this is the loyalty, this is how my parents grow me, and I will not think about it. I am just going to put, this is where I'm supposed to put my ex, this is where I always put my ex, and this is where my ex is gonna go. This is where I'm gonna give my support. And it doesn't matter about whether they are good, because once I like them, they are doing good. That's it, end of story. Anybody who is diehard is not patriotic, because you cannot love your country and love a party at the same time. Because if you will never vote for another party except the one you are in, it means you will vote to sink yourself if it comes to the test. Because you don't vote on issues. And as far as I'm concerned, people who do not vote on issues shouldn't have a vote. I, for example, I vote on issues. And because I vote on issues, I look at the broader spectrum of what's going on around me. That is the reason I can say plain that I have voted both for the PNP and the JLP in the past. Because my loyalty is to country. I'm a patriot. And you can't call yourself a true patriot if you align to a political party for the rest of your life. You cannot be patriotic, because every government is going to mess up. They are human beings. And human beings, first of all 63 of them in the house are thief. Every single one of them are thief. So if we are going to use use corruption as a reason to get out one government and put in the other, are you saying the government you are putting in from your side nago thief? And every time a government takes over, the other party in opposition call the previous one corrupt. But when you did in, you did corrupt to everyone. I know corrupt. All 63 I know. We know that. So, I mean, I would never vote based on people accusing the other government of corruption or vice versa. Because that is like the pot I call the kettle black. As a matter of fact, a two pot. A pot just I call the next pot. Black pot, black. And the two of them are the same thing. But it gets worse than that. Because while die-hard people, I can understand, their mindset. There's another set of people which I think are extremely dangerous, which make democracy very difficult to walk. And those are the opportunists. Now, who are these opportunists? And this is a significant number of the population, especially the young population, 25 and under. If you don't put a money inside their individual pocket, they will not vote. They don't care about country. They don't necessarily care about party or anything. You want my vote? Put some money in my hand. No. And this is about even no matter how good you are as a politician. Some people does not see their vote as they're willing to sell their vote. Now, if me by vote, if you are forcing me as a politician, whether I'm doing good, I'm going into the power to do good or not do good, and I have to buy your vote, once I have to buy your vote, I don't think I need to go in there and do nothing for you. Me done give you and me to give you already. After election done and me win, you can't come to me and tell me nothing because you did done get your benefit already. Me did done have to starve myself and pay you for this vote. So I don't owe you nothing again. And that's the truth. And a lot of good politicians are kept out of parliament and are kept out of the parish councils and the SAMC because they cannot afford to buy enough votes. And guys, that is extremely sad. A lot of politicians have spoken out against that, but it's a real thing. And that's not good for democracy. Because I can tell you the truth. If it's a reality, if you go and force me, if you are going to force me to pay you for your vote, and I really want to go in there and I'm going to do good, I may have the money, I go buy your vote, you know. If me really want to get in, and hold on, this is not just me, this is about any other 6'3" politician who know that is what can get them into power are going to do it. But they are not doing it just because they want to do it. They are doing it because it's what? If somebody is selling something and you want it, you are going to buy it. And it's because the person sell it. If the person was willing to give it to you free, you never ever buy something where somebody will give you free. Let's face it. So the fact that there are politicians, there are citizens out there who knows the value of their one vote, and the value of their one vote is a $3,000 or a $5,000 as the case may be, and they know what it's worth to them. And things like this are going to force politicians to become corrupt because them can't just opt out and say, all right, me I go stay in the losing column because me I go stay straight and buy no vote. You are selling a commodity that he needs. And you cannot have a buyer unless there was a seller. Because no politician going to know that you are going freely to the polls and still come give your money. Come put money in your pocket knowing so that you would have supported him anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's move on to the 5% who know the truth and hope to wake up the 90%. And among those 5% are people like me. But stick around, because I haven't told you guys who the 1% is yet. But you're going to see how that 1% die into everything. Well, another of the few in the 5% bracket are like President Museveni of Uganda, President Ruto of Kenya, and the guy from Mali, President Goita, Chiani from Niger, Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, and this guy, the EFF president, the Economic Freedom Fighters, the president of that group in South Africa, Julius Malema. And you have Kim Jong-un, surprisingly, yes, a lot of you would know that. Vladimir Putin, he is among the 5% who are woke who know the truth, so I wouldn't use the word woke, who know the truth and are hoping to wake up the 90%. And I'm going to call out one specific individual who some people love, some people hate, but this is a fact. This is a fact for those who care about facts. The one man today who can change the course of this world into a peaceful world is a man who they cannot buy. Remember I told you about the 4% that are sellouts? The one man they cannot buy and who can change the history of the world is Donald J. Trump. Why do you think Donald Trump get so much fight and him live a courthouse every single day of him life? Why you think that is? And why this has never happened to any other president in the history of the United States? Why do you think that is? You think there's a reason for that, you know? Donald Trump upset the apple cart. Him is not like Obama. Him is not like Bill Clinton. Him is not like all the other presidents. Why? Because Donald Trump cannot be bought. Donald Trump is a billionaire. Him don't have him own money, so he will not follow the script of the 1%, and therefore they want to get rid of him because him going to spoil every single thing that 1% has tried to do, because they have brought out every single president who have ever sat down in the White House. But Donald Trump cannot be brought. That's why you see Donald Trump going through everything he's going through. Now, I'm going to tell you who that 1% is. The 1% is the Jews. Israel contains about 8 million people. You guys know what's the population of Jews in the United States? It's around 7 million. So in other words, between Israel and the United States, it contains almost the entire Jewish population in the world, and these comprise the 1%. They are the richest people on earth. They can not only buy presidents and prime ministers, like how they pay our own not to vote at the United Nations. They can overthrow any government on earth using the United States. People have said that people have gone as far as to say that Israel is not really a country, it is simply a military base of the United States. But I beg to differ. It's the other way around. The United States is a military base of Israel. The richest people in the world are Jews. In fact, 8 of the 10 richest people in the world today are Jews. And these people have over 100 billion each. I mean billion with a B. Don't take my word for it. Go online, Google it. And once you control money, the next thing you can control is to gain full power is the military war. So they control the military industrial complex in the United States of America. With those two things, you control the planet. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll stop it here, but I think I'll go into geopolitics some more soon. But bear in mind one thing, while I'm putting out this video, it is very likely that this video will not be monetized and might be even taken down, because as I said, the last thing I said at the bottom of that statement I made, the 1% do not want the 5% to wake up the 90%. And therefore, me being part of the 5% and you being part of the 90%, that 1% would rather this video not go out, or I can be punished for it. I've been punished before for putting out things to make the world more aware before, and I've been demonetized, and all my credit cards were even blacklisted for putting out something like this. But let me see if this one go through. But There you go. Take that as you will, but I'm just trying to wake some people up. Guys, I'm going to expand on this if this video actually goes out. And ask me your questions, I'll answer them. And let me know where you think I am wrong or I have I'm misleading or anything. And ask for further clarifications if you need it. Or tell me what topics you'd like me to discuss. And Jamaican politics or geopolitics, world politics, whatever, or from any minister. I'm willing to go there and give some clarification. Guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Please like, please share, and leave a comment below. I welcome that, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.